Tell you that it's quite cold in this Tuesday, and we are ending February, so very soon spring should come. But it's so cold. Even the dogs they walking in their little dress are shaking. Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the episode where we go and see Clink prison. You know, these kind of places, prisons, jails, correctional facilities are very hard sell, I think, for the tourists. I know two places when I think of this. First one, obviously, the Tower of London. Everyone should see it at least once in their lifetime because of the crown jewels and the zoo as well. And of course, the ravens. And they have lots of good stories as well. And the other place, it's in Austria. You need to go up to the mountain, and there is a cell. The cell is itself obviously empty, and the guide will tell you that there was a guy, a revolutionary guy, who ended up in prison. His name is Sándor, typical Hungarian name, Sándor Rózsa. And the story goes that he was so beautiful man, a sort of Brad Pitt of his time, that ladies from all over the place, all over the country came, and they paid little bribery to have a look at this man. But as I said, all these places are very hard sell to the public. I think last year we decided not to travel for a while. Instead, stay in London and check out different places. That's why the Clink prison was on our list for a long time. These places are obviously very depressing, and I didn't even stop. Usually when I go to exhibition or a museum, I stop and I look around, but here I was just kept on walking, one foot after another, because you could really feel how this place is sad, really. Two things you notice. The very first one is obviously how well detailed the whole exhibition is. You know, huge life-size wax figures and stories everywhere. The sound effect, the music, the screams, everything is so very real. And then the second thing you notice that when you read only the highlights, that people who stayed here, they needed to pay for their own accommodation and food. But how would you do that when you are being put and kept in a box? So it's you just starve, because statistically very soon you're gonna run out of money, no matter how much your saving was beforehand. So this prison been here for an awful long time, 900 years, and it can be traced back to the grandson of William the Conqueror. There were two prisons, one for the men, one for the ladies. The name Clink is a bit a mystery. They don't know what or why or how it came about, but probably it is the sound that what the metal makes, you know, when the handcuffs closes. Of course, there were some VIP people here, historically important people, politically very important people, and of course some who later went to the USA, the Pilgrim Fathers. The way of doing protests back in those days were kinda different, because those riots were resulted in a complete destruction of the whole place, so they needed to rebuild it. It happened twice. Peasants' revolt in 1381 and Jack Cade's rebellion in 1450. The end comes in 1780, when the guy breaks into the Clink prison and and burned it to the ground. Political reasons. The guy named Lord George Gordon, and he's not really happy because of the Papist Act, favoring the Catholics. And what he does, he gathers all his friends, all his Protestant friends, and then just go to Clink prison, and they just have at it. Nothing really left. And after that, people just say that, okay, we kind of had enough as well, and we're not gonna rebuild it. That's it. That's the end. And here in the Clink Museum, where we're walking today, there is the original wall, and that's it. You can see the river is quite high today. Right there, that building is called the Cheese Grater. We are walking along the river from the Shard building, one of the tallest buildings in Europe, all the way to St. Paul's Cathedral. And on the way we find a London attraction called Clink Prison, and I remember it used to be £5 the entry, and now it's 8. And this morning we actually looked through all the entry prices, all the tickets, and we noticed how expensive they got. This one was £5 and now it's 8, and well, it's a prison exhibition, so it was as depressive as you might think. The exhibition is much larger than I expected, and right in the middle you have the original wall of the Clink prison. You find there life-size wax figures like in Madame Tussauds, and lots of tools to make someone's life more miserable than it already is. There are not many things I can share on this platform, but I actually learned 2 things. One I find actually on the second room wall, and it was a quote, an actual quote from an actual person, that every single prisoner should pay for their own food and bed, and if they can't do it, then other prisoners should pay for him, and if the others are not so charitable, then he should give up already. Quite horrible, isn't it? So that was the first thing I've learned. The second, what happened to Cromwell's body, the only commoner who ruled England. When you walk room to room, there are so many stories on the wall. So it used to be £5, now it's 8, and definitely worth it if you're interested in this sort of things. Look what I have in my hand. Still have the bread, and we were actually thinking to buy it right there and then, because then all day we need to carry it with us, and we decided to do just that. So I'm going around with a loaf of bread in my hand, and it's a coincidence of today, because long years ago, after work, we went out with the colleagues, and I had a loaf of bread with me, and I was young, so I didn't care, and we went to dance, and I was dancing with a loaf of bread. So today when I wake up, I saw a message from my friend. It was a screenshot of a Facebook post, the Facebook page of that very club I'm talking about. And it was a recent post about a rent increase, £320,000 per year. And it's supposed to go on the top of what they already pay. So this is London, and I'm walking next to the Globe, Shakespeare's Globe. I'm gonna show it to you. You see, just behind me.